How does Jake LaMotta and Roberto Duran, how do they differ?
There's a feral nature to them. At the same time, they could be very vulnerable. You see those moments and you see those aspects in both characters. What I found so interesting about this character is that these men, also like Sugar Ray Leonard, the character that Usher plays, they're larger than life. These guys are titans. They, in people's perception, they can beat anyone. They're invincible. But we know they're not. In both movies and in our film, you see how this beast can also be vulnerable and be wounded, and hurt. And I think that that's contradiction is what makes them such interesting characters. And I think that between Jack and Roberto, I think that could be also there could be a connection between them. There's a specificity about his personality that it was important to me for me to experience. And I had the privilege to be welcomed by him, by his family. I basically moved to Panama and I started my training there. I was training for over 6-7 months. It was a beautiful process. For me, in this case, it was important to be close to my subject.
I think he, in some way, represented the idea of the perception of what boxing had become. And maybe in some way, Duran was very angry at the fact that he was recognized but yet so graceful as an Olympian. He probably was a rich kid. He wanted his respect. Sugar Ray Leonard did, and I, in a similar style, felt it was deliberate to get as close as I possibly could to Sugar Ray, to just really get an aspect of really where he was mentally. The devil's in the details, and as creative as you could be as an actor, when you're telling a story that is so significant in history, you want to make sure, as it relates to the boxing and as it relates to the conflict between those two people, that you understood his perspective. And then understanding what it took to be prepared. Nowadays things are much different. We have supplements and all these other things that help us cut weight and things like that. But back then, it was just brute force. You had to really sweat it out. You had to, deprive yourself of eating certain food. Your training schedule was very specific. I was very happy to be in Panama and also to just be in the company. We actually worked together on stunts and we wanted to make sure that we recreated the feeling, the energy.
I think Fulham is his rock. She makes him who he is, I think. When you meet Felicidad and Duran, you realize how much they love each other and they love for who they are. So you understand that they chose to be together.
When I actually saw the fight on television, I knew Roberto a little bit. We spent a little time together before, and I was very, very upset that what happened. So imagine that's how I felt as a friend and an observer when his trainer had to feel 50 times as bad.